It is Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. The top news story this evening is the killing of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer. And in the headlines tonight, rioting on East 33rd Street. And reportedly, the National Guard is being deployed. That's the latest. But what I want to do is show you how, once again, a psychological operation is being waged against the American people for the purpose of divide and conquer. And that is one of the mainstream media's sole purposes, to keep us divided, to keep us ignorant, to keep us in fear, to keep our heads full of things that they don't need to be full of. And there's a lot of things wrong that should stand out on the surface with this psychological operation, but we're going to do it one more time. We're going to talk about the rioting on East 33rd Street. What I'm wondering right now is if the rioters are even from Minneapolis, or if they were bussed in like they were for Ferguson, Missouri, and Baltimore for Michael Brown and Freddie Gray, respectively. Let's just watch a little bit of the riot footage, and don't worry about the sound. The sound doesn't matter. All you really need to see is the East 33rd Street, which should be front and center on your screen. And again, East 33rd. What did I talk about even before this happened? How they encoded 33 in this story, which reminds of the Rodney King beatings that incited riots in Los Angeles. What day was the Rodney King beating? March 3rd, 3/3, the same day they buried Trayvon Martin, the same number they use in all of these psychological operations. One of my oldest videos from 2014 was the U.S. Army Psychological Operations Field Manual, and how the psychological operations done in the media were rule number 33. To go back and dig up that video if I can. Again, if you're new here, the channel has been deleted 19 times. That's not an exaggeration. That's how many times Google has literally deleted my channel, 19 to date. And all for doing videos like this, exposing what's actually going on. But I'm just going to play a little bit of this clip. Don't worry about the sound. It doesn't matter. You're just going to see people, throwing whatever they're throwing at the police cars. But right on East 33rd Street. No doubt about it. All set up, all staged. And I'd love to know where these people are. What makes me laugh is, these dissidents right here with their coronavirus masks on. It's just like, you got to be kidding me, man. So, anyway, it's just, they're trying to set people off. They got this going on all over on social media right now. People throwing whatever they're throwing at the police, and apparently not very hard objects, because it didn't even look like it did any damage to those police cars. But anyway, East 33rd Street. And this might be a little bit redundant if you watch my last video, but I got quite a few more observations in here as more information's come out. And again, I just want to go through all the signs of the psychological operation. Just right away, the victim's name sums to George Floyd. And if you're new here, gematria, very simple code. It's based on the alphabetic order, turning letters into numbers. A's 1, B's 2, C's 3, D's 4, E's 5, so on. George Floyd equals 119. Neither cipher's just using the alphabetic order and the rules of numerology. Very similar. Fraternal Order of Police equals 119. And if you're not familiar with the Fraternal Order of Police, it's the Masonic network of Freemasons that essentially control police. Masonry uses this code of letters and numbers. This is mostly a Masonic practice. But you can see in the Fraternal Order of Police's logo, the all-seeing eye. And you also see the Masonic handshake, and you see the checkerboard floor like they have in all their lodges. But that all-seeing eye, that's another thing that equals 119. And the all-seeing eye is the mind's eye, the pineal gland. And this is what mainstream propaganda is about: capturing the mind's eye of the masses, distracting the mind's eye of the masses, poisoning the mind's eye of the masses. This is what mainstream media does every single day, yet people are addicted to it, and people believe in it. It's mind control. Everybody knows there's nothing positive that comes out of the media. It's all bullshit. It's all confusion. It's all nonsense. And this entire story is clear bullshit. There's not a single bit of this story that makes any sense. And I'm going to make that even more clear in this video than I did in the last. Again, the one part of the body that sums to 33 is the neck. And the story is that the officer, for no reason, planted his knee into the back of the victim's neck. Why don't you try, if you really think this man died, why don't you have somebody in your house put their knee on the back of your neck, and hopefully they don't weigh too much because you don't want to snap your neck. But I just want you to see for yourself if it's even possible to be choked by putting pressure on the back of your neck. You'll realize it's not. It's not possible. Also, what's not possible is to scream out while you're being choked, because your air supply should be cut off if you're being choked and you can't really make any noise. But anyway, neck equals 33, like race war. Again, Rodney King beaten on March 3rd, 3-3. Trayvon Martin buried on March 3rd. This number used 1 million times over the years. Covered it so many times breaking down the psyops, especially the racially divisive ones with the police. But anyway, race war 33, police 33, masonry 33, federal 33, secrecy 33, order 33. If you want to add to that list, the name Steven equals 33, as in Steven Jackson, who said this man looks like his twin. He spells his name PH. That's the 33 way. But in light of this coming out of Minnesota and masonry being 33, don't forget a few years back there was the killing of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, both captured on video that same day by police. Two very divisive stories. And Philando Castile's father went on the news and he was wearing all of his Masonic garb. Again, here's Philando Castile's uncle. That's what I meant to say a moment ago if I didn't say uncle. But Philando Castile, who was supposedly killed by police in his car in Minnesota not too many years back, when his uncle went on the news to talk about it, he was decked out in a Masonic pin, the Masonic symbolism all over. Masonry. Masons. This is their symbolism. This is their code. They control police, media, government. And that's the game, control. A way to control people is to keep them divided. It's not to say that all Masons are in on this, all Masons are responsible. It's a very small percentage. But was Philando Castile's uncle? You bet he was. Was he in on it? Of course he was. Was Trayvon Martin's father, who also went in the media with Masonic gear on, in on it? Of course he was. These ones expose themselves, putting their symbolism in plain sight, which they expect no one to see. And they get away with it again and again, putting the same numbers in your face again and again and again. East 33rd Street. Here's Trayvon Martin's father, Remember this Freemason compass and square. We're going to come back to that with Steven Jackson. Again, Rodney King beaten on March 3rd, 3-3, which set off riots, which I brought up earlier today before we had the story of the rioting on East 33rd Street. What I've learned since then is this man was pronounced dead. George Floyd, that is. He was pronounced dead at Hennepin County Medical Center, which sums to 137, the 33rd prime number. What do you know? What do you know? This pattern comes together all the time if you're new here. All the time. For the record, just to give you a good example, Washington, D.C. equals 137. Government, 137. Authority, 137. 137 is the 33rd prime. Washington, D.C. is named after the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. Masonry, 33. Secrecy, 33. Order, 33. Federal, 33. George Washington has the 333-foot monument built in his honor in Alexandria, Virginia. Okay, so again, what was different about this story is how fast there was a response from the police firing the officers. This isn't normally the way it goes. Over the years, normally there's a drawn-out process, and the officers are acquitted, even though it's obvious that they shouldn't be acquitted, right? They're shooting people in the back who are unarmed. They're doing all these things that are wrong again and again, and then they get acquitted. And who knows, this guy might end up getting acquitted too, but he's already been fired a day later, which is not normal. Normally it doesn't go this way. Normally the police department protects the officer, doesn't reveal the name. Recall years ago with Michael Brown. That was back when I was new. A lot of people caught on right away with Michael Brown because before they put out the officer's name, Darren Wilson, before that happened, like a week before it happened, right when the news broke, I said, just watch. When they put out the officer's name, I guarantee you his name will sum to 33 in gematria. And then the name came out Darren, which equals 33. And then he had blonde hair and blue eyes, and he was wearing a Blues t-shirt, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. That happened again in Missouri, not far from St. Louis, home of the Blues. Just won a Stanley Cup by the numbers. But this big viral news story in the firing of the officers, it takes place on the 147th day of the year. Jewish gematria is a very important cipher. Police equals 147. We've seen plenty of police riddles over the years with 147. In light of Freemasonry controlling police, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, which is this neon green cipher, the word Freemasons 147, conspiracies 147, and a whole lot of other things. But 147th day of the year, big viral story, making all the waves, and having to do with police. Again, this is news by the numbers all day, every single day, and it always points in one direction, the Masonic orders. Whether it's Freemasonry or the Jesuits or the Knights Templar, etc. They're all Masonic orders. So again, the day this is going viral, it's a date with 71 numerology, police brutality 71, African American 71. You're hearing these words everywhere in the media. As a reminder, the movie about Nat Turner, who was killed November 11th, 1831, which was a date with 71 numerology. The movie about his life, The Birth of a Nation. Again, they said it grossed only $7.1 million. It was disappointing. 7.1 like African Americans, 71 like Birth of a Nation, 71. Again, the same numbers used in the same repetitive ways. And essentially what they were doing with the Nat Turner movie was saying, look, nobody gives a shit about black history. This movie was supposed to make big money. We hyped this movie, we advertised it, nobody even came out to see it. And is that even true? Is it true that it only made $7.1 million? Probably not. But it's just another way to, subtly shame black people. Nobody cares about your history. Not even when we, the false ones, make a movie about it. For the people calling in, I'll take calls in a moment. Just as a reminder, 71 is the 20th prime number. We've seen a lot of this number this year in 2020, as we predicted we would. 71, the 20th prime, death 20. This is another story of death. Today's date numerology is also 35, which corresponds with knee, which is the main event in the story, that he put his knee into the back of his neck and choked him to death. And then again, what stands out right away is with all these psyops that are all connected, and we've taken them all apart. I've written a book about all of these incidents plus way more. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, they're all psyops, and they've all had the same attorney, Benjamin Crump. The surname Crump is 71. He becomes the attorney on the 71 date numerology. It's just the same recycled garbage again and again and again. The name Michael's 33. Cleveland's 33. That's where Tamir Rice was killed in Cleveland. Again, Michael's 33. Darren's 33. His shooter was Darren Wilson. Trayvon Martin, his initials are TM. T's the 20th letter. M's the 13th. 20 plus 13 is 33. He was buried on 3-3. They get the same numbers encoded in all of the rituals. And then just what literally kills me is seeing that he was killed on 38th Street. Again, if you're new here. If you're new here, stick around and see how often I talk about 38, death, murder, and killing. It's pretty much a daily event. But this guy's killed on 38th Street in this nonsensical story. Death's 38, murder's 38, killing's 38, RIP's 38, Minnesota's 38, Trayvon's 38, Tamir's 38. You could add to that list Florida's 38. Philando's 38, as in Philando Castile, with the Masonic uncle on TV who was killed in Minnesota not too long ago. On that same day, there was the killing in Louisiana of Alton Sterling caught on video. Louisiana's another 38 state. There's only a few states that equal 38. Louisiana, Minnesota, Florida. That might be it. There might be one more that I'm not thinking of, but they're comparing this to Eric Garner. And as of this morning, TMZ is also comparing it to Rodney King, which we talked about yesterday before the little mini riot on 33rd Street. But look at this. They're comparing this to Eric Garner. Now, ask yourself, How is the gas station price? If you're not aware, this is the officer right here on the left who supposedly killed George Floyd by pushing his knee into the back of his neck. And this is the officer who stood in front of the guy who kept saying, bro, 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 bro. But ask yourself, look at the gas station price in the background. The unleaded price is $1.89, which is reasonable. There are plenty of stations around the nation where unleaded is $1.89. But then the price below it's diesel, which says 99 cents. And the cheapest diesel price in Minneapolis right now, I looked it up. You can look it up too. It's $2.74. So how is it showing 99 cents? And because this is the United States of amnesia, a lot of people probably forget that Eric Garner was choked out by a police officer wearing a 99 t-shirt. And because most people aren't very observant, they don't notice the way numbers are used ritualistically every single day in media. Just like if you watch this video, it's clear that the cameraman backed up at the very beginning, circled around the garbage can to film the garbage can, which had 6s on it. Why did the cameraman want to make sure he captured the garbage can at the beginning of the video with the 6s? Again, it's not an accident. That's how the video begins. But here, you have this gas station with 99-cent price. Diesel's not 99 cents right now. But Eric Garner was choked out by number 99, and he was choked out in Tompkinsville, Staten Island, which equals 99, like the United States of America equals 99, like racism equals 99, which is what both of these stories are about. And for people who don't know, the United States of America has been a nation built on racist principles from the beginning that was named on what day? 9/9. That's the day the United States of America was named. 9/9. Gematria, the United States of America, 99. Independence Day equals 74. What day do we celebrate it? 7/4. Gematria. It's been used since the beginning of this nation and since before it. You learn this code, you see through the history, you see through the number rituals. So, and again, here it is right here. Lowest diesel fuel prices in Minneapolis area. Shell's got it at $2.69. That's the lowest price in the area. Holiday $2.74. Speedway $2.74. This is a Speedway station. So ask yourself, how are they showing a 99-cent price? It's because this is a psyop. The whole scene is contrived. Everything about it is contrived. And as always is the case, they're putting their numbers in front of them, in front of your eyes, flaunting their numbers. They're comparing this to Eric Garner. That's why you got a 99 on the gas station across the street from the chokeout scene now being compared to Eric Garner. Can't make it any more clear. The phone's almost dead here. Maybe we'll take another call or two, but I need to wrap it up and get back to work. What's up, caller?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi, Zach. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. I just wanted to call to say I just saw like an article, or I don't know, CNN or something, where the family of George Floyd was speaking out, specifically his brother. And one of the quotes that they highlighted that he said was, "They took a life, they deserve life." And when you type that in, that equals 320, which I believe was the number that was on the squad car or the cop car.
Oh, it was. It was. What's the phrase again?
They took a life, they deserve life.
They took a life, they deserve life. Okay, yeah, that is what was on the squad car. Caller?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it has that 320. I thought that was just, I don't know, is that a coincidence or something?
It's not. It is not at all. That's just all part of the symbolism and how they do it. Yep, they got to emphasize in the headlines. That's what they do.
Yeah. I also wonder if this story has any connection. I don't know if you saw the story with the woman in Central Park with the man, where she was like calling the cops on him because they had like some kind of dispute and he was recording her. So it was like this whole big story that was happened on Memorial Day as well. And I thought it was funny that these two stories happened on the same day, having to do with race, because the woman was like being called out as a racist and all of that. And the Central Park has that 119 and 178 like George Floyd.
Okay, Central, exactly. I mean, that's how it is. Okay, so Central Park Amy Cooper is fired after calling police on black birder in Central Park?
Yes. That was a big story before the George Floyd thing kind of started going viral and kind of overshadowed it a little bit. But
I see.
It's still being talked about because he was on Don Lemon today, so...
Okay. Yeah, it's all ritual. That's how it is. The whole news is a script and a web, and it just makes me think about how George Floyd is a former NFL player for New York who wore the number 38, and this George Floyd died on 38th Street, and the George Floyd who was in the NFL is 59 years old. There's probably some greater riddle going on because this story's out of New York. And you were saying Central Park equals the same thing as George Floyd?
Yeah, 119, 178. And the video actually went viral because his sister posted it. The guy who was recording, or the victim, his name is Christian Cooper. So they have the same last name, ironically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I saw that with the Christian Cooper headline, and now Amy Cooper, right.
Right, and his sister is the one who posted it, which caused it to go viral. And her name is Melody Cooper, which also has 178 and 65 like George Floyd.
Huh, yeah. And I see that name Cooper, or Amy Cooper's got the 42 in it, and again it's racial, and 42, right. Like chokes 42, and And
in the video, she's like choking her dog, which was another big thing about it, because she's like trying to like call the cops while her dog is not on the leash, and she's choking the dog in the video.
And dog equals 26 like Floyd, and then his story goes viral on the 26th. This is exactly how they do it. And then there's something sick about that too, like a dog, like how people refer to humans as lesser dogs, and
the police treat us like dogs.
Exactly. This is exactly how they do it. So I wasn't even aware of this story. I've had my head in the book, writing the book, so I missed this whole Amy Cooper story. But this is exactly what they do, man, and they get away with it. So,
yeah, it's sick. She has like the 111, the New York number.
Yeah.
And he's like a bird watcher. He's a graduate from Harvard, and he has written for like Marvel Comics, and apparently his sister has worked for HBO. Like there's a whole bunch of, and then she was fired from her job as well because of this. And the word fired has like some interesting numbers to it. I think 42 comes up with fired.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And then you have Donald Trump, and that's his big thing with, you're fired.
Right.
So yeah, there's a big thing going on. For some reason, they're bringing up all these like race things at the same time. Even with like, I think the rapper Doja Cat, she's been in the headlines for racism. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right on. I'm really glad you called in and brought this to my attention. It's undeniable. This is part of the ritual. It's all connected.
Yeah, no coincidence. If you go, you should go look at the video. It looks staged, but it just doesn't make sense. Like she's wearing a mask, and then she takes her mask off to start yelling at him, and it's like, this is like dumb.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna pull it up here. So, Amy Cooper dog. Let's see. Now, I see CNN's clip is 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. I know that's not an accident. How long is the full video that you're supposed to watch?
Well, it's only like 10, 15 seconds because like he cuts it off because his whole thing was he was telling her to put the dog on the leash, and so she got pissed off at him, and then she started calling the cops and saying there's an African American that's threatening me and my dog, but it only lasts for about 10, 15 seconds because once she puts the dog on the leash, she says thank you and cuts the clip.
Okay. Why is she being called? I see that one of the articles called her Central Park Karen. Do you know what's up with that?
Well, they call her Karen because Karen is like a term that we use, or black people have been using to describe white women who just call the cops on black people who are just...
Well, what I see about that phrase, is it equals 102, like the N-word, like police, like slavery. Central Park Karen, 102.
And also, Minnesota is known as the North Star State, which also comes to 102.
Ah, yeah.
And North Star obviously has a lot of symbolism to it, but...
Yeah. Indeed. All right. Well,
Yeah. So
I'll have to check out those clips.
But
But anyway, so you're saying that part of the backlash of this story became that she was choking her dog while she was yelling at the black guy?
yes, because she didn't have the dog on the leash. She just had it by the collar, but she was trying to like operate her phone at the same time. So
I
she
see
was,
it in
like,
the I see it in the
dragging
picture
dog around.
now. Yeah, she pulled the dog up by the collar. Yeah. Oh, this stuff is so
And so
sick
they
how
took
they
the
do
dog
it.
away from her as well. And they fired. She works for like this huge company, like I think in finance or something like that. So they had come out and like said they fired her
Yeah.
allegedly or whatever.
It's just it's amazing the lengths they go to in these rituals, and I mean, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I
so,
just saw the clip how she pulled.
on
Oh, she does it
Memorial
multiple
Day,
times.
like,
Yeah.
and I believe like Memorial Day was started by black soldiers. That's how the whole thing came about. So maybe that's why they decided like, okay,
Huh? I didn't know that, but that would make sense. It would make sense.
yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look into that one. It does equal
Yeah,
181, the 42nd prime. Oh, look at that. The first ever Memorial Day was May 5th, 5/5, like Minneapolis is 55. Huh.
Yeah, that's probably maybe it ties into that as to why they chose to do this, especially with everyone being home, not really being able to like celebrate the way they would normally. So it just gave us some entertainment.
Yeah, some really twisted entertainment. Something to keep people's minds
Right.
busy. Yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
That's
Great
all I had.
observations. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thanks.
take care.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody didn't call in about that earlier. I didn't even know about this story. So, lady choking out her dog the same day, something else.